Hello, I hope this works. So, I thought I would talk about something a bit controversial. Usually, I try to keep my subjects pretty tame and pretty, I don't know, lighthearted. I don't like to piss people off. So I try to avoid subjects like politics, religion, and I should avoid music because fuck, people treat that the same way. But this time I'm going to do something a bit touchy. I'm going to talk about, and I've been seeing a lot of people bring this up lately, about how our generation sucks. That's very vague to me, and I've been hearing a shitload of that lately. Tons of it. People are like, oh, I hate my generation. My generation is awful. I have lost all faith for the human race. That always bugs the fuck out of me because it makes zero sense. And our generation is actually the best generation yet. And let me explain why. Well, first off, the very obvious things is technology is farther than it's ever been, and so is medicine. Medicine is a pretty good thing. It wasn't that long ago when people were dying of fucking polio, when iron lungs were used. That was like 70 years ago. That's not exaggeration. There are people alive today who, if they just got basic diseases, they were dead when they were a child. Infant mortality rate's gone down like crazy. Crazy. It's insane. And so from a medical perspective, we're the best. That's a pretty big deal. You can't ignore that. You can't be like, oh, well, I saw some 5-year-old with an iPad. That means our generation's fucked. No, it doesn't. Because you know what? 100 years ago, that 5-year-old might not even be alive. And if you're going to wish death on a 5-year-old, then this is obviously not the video for you. So, and then technology-wise, like, I don't know, cars are getting the best mileage ever. Houses are built to sustain more damage than ever. I mean, I could go on about every little thing. Video games are the best ever. You want to say the 80s are so much better? Well, go back and play your Atari games. You're not going to enjoy it. You're not. I know we look back on like the old school NES games with fond memories, and I love myself some NES. Not as good when you're stuck playing that and you have no other choices. Just trust me on that. So, technology and medicine, that's a pretty big fucking deal. Then I'll have someone say, well, you know what? Music was so much better in the past. In which, first off, I would say, are you really judging a generation by its music? Really? Now, I get that music's a big deal to people. Trust me, I know. I've done it for a living before. And I really hope to get back into it. I can play multiple instruments, and a lot of times I have nothing better to do than just lay down some beats. That's what I do. And even I would never have the audacity to be like, music is my life. Because it fucking isn't. I also like food. I do things besides music. So if you say music is your life, I hate you. And I love everybody, but I hate you. So let's go into detail why this makes no sense. First off, what are you going to complain about? Are you going to complain about, I don't know, auto-tune? Well, you want to know something? Fucking effects on vocals and instruments have been done forever. You're going to tell me that, like, oh, well, this 70s artist didn't use auto-tune. Yeah, but they used distortion and reverb and all this other shit. It's all normalization, equalization. Effects have always been used. It's like CGI. If you overdo it, it sucks. But if you do it in moderate amounts, it enhances the music. If you're going to tell me, oh, Hot Topic rock, that upsets me. When I go into a Hot Topic, their music is awful. And I would agree with you, but that's nothing different. Every generation has shitty music. Every single one. I wrote it down on my computer. Let's see. We had 80s hair metal. Terrible. And it's the same basic shit. It's structured the same way. If you're gonna act like fucking Quiet Riot's different than Asking Alexandria, you are wrong. And you all know music. Grunge is pretty terrible. Regardless of what you think about Nirvana, if you're gonna look back and see Machine Head and stuff like that, it's pretty bad. Disco, punk was a whole lot worse. Listen to the Ramones, every song is the same. Fucking new wave music. There's fads every generation. Every generation there's musical fads, and they all suck. Every single one of them. And if you're gonna look at, sorry, hair in my eye, that matters because I like to be able to see. And if you're gonna tell me, oh, well, today's metalcore sucks, but 80s hair metal's good, then you're just being biased because it's old. Like, if you are seriously looking back and saying, oh, Guns N' Roses, that's a real band, and then you're gonna tell me that fucking like Maroon 5 isn't, they both suck. Get over it. They're both structured the same way. They're both in 4/4. They both use the same 4 chords. Get over yourself. You don't know what you're talking about. See, I'm getting controversial. People are gonna hate me. People are gonna be like, fuck you, Bon Jovi's fantastic, and Train is terrible. You're just not gonna get it. Next up, you're gonna be like, you know, Justin Bieber. Like, that's terrible. That's how our generation's fucked, because we like Justin Bieber and like Hannah Montana and shit. Yes, because Aaron Carter, Corey Hart, Donny Osmond did all not exist. Every generation has this shit. Every single one. Our generation's, the media knows what makes money, and kids are fucking stupid. No matter what generation, whether it be the 20s, 40s, 60s, 80s today, kids are dumb. That's why this music is made for them, because kids give money away. Parents are like, here's 20 bucks, buy a CD, and the kid's like, fuck, I like Nickelback. It's sadly how it works. So what else? Politics. This is one I see a good bit of. You get the intelligent person who's like, well, you know, back in my day, we didn't have this shit. Yes, you did, and it was worse. Back in the day, there was this little thing called the Red Scare. It was where, like, we were killing people who didn't have the same beliefs as us. We were afraid of communists, and the American government was like, we're gonna make ourselves look good and Russia look bad, so if you agree with anything that might even symbolize Russia, we will kill you. I can do whatever the fuck I want nowadays. I could go out, whip my dick out, and praise Satan, and I might just get put in jail for 24 hours and then in the insane asylum. I'm not gonna get killed. And let's see, as far as politics go, wars were a whole lot worse. We had World War I, World War II, Korean War, Gulf War, Vietnam, Desert Storm. And if you're going to go back, well, my childhood was different. My childhood's better than these childhoods. Iraq War. Iraq War was a lot worse of a thing back then than it is today. Sorry. And it's always sucked. All war sucks, and there was worse war. You know, and if you're going to be like, well, you know, people were better. People were more respectful, more nicer, more just good. You are wrong. Because you think homophobia, racism, crazy religious people are bad today. Before the 80s, you couldn't even be black. You were black. You just don't bother. Don't leave your neighborhood for shit. Like racism. You know, slavery and like segregation were not that long ago. And if you're gonna go like, oh, 60s were the best because they had like the Beatles and stuff. Yeah, but they also, blacks couldn't drink at the same water fountains. You know, I guess it weighs one way or the other. I guess it justifies it. It doesn't. So homophobia was a lot worse. You know, it's only a recent thing that people have been coming out as gay. Because nowadays, yes, there's a lot of homophobia still around. It sucks. I hate it. As the most masculine straight man ever, I really hurt for my small gay homosexual friends. I hurt for them. But you couldn't even joke about the 70s, 80s. I make a gay joke back in the 70s, people look at me weird. I get shot. Like I said, you think it's bad now. You think crazy religious people are around. You know, when religion's used for good, I fucking love it. I love me some people who are like, you know, I'm just trying to do the right thing. And that's good. It makes me happy. I think it's beautiful. But when you have people, let's just put it this way. A lot more people killed for religion back in the days, like crusades and shit. Not really around as much anymore. Yeah, you have a freak case with someone like will bomb an abortion clinic or something, but it's not nearly as bad as before. Before, like, there was segregation if you weren't religious. I can be atheist now with almost no repercussion. I just can't mention it at a Walmart or something. Whoa, my video just went out, so let's try to recover. So basically what I'm saying is, yes, we're closed-minded today, but we were even more closed-minded in the past. It sucks. I hate it, but that's the truth. People weren't magically more open-minded in the past. It sucks. I'm sorry. But none of this matters, because people aren't looking at things from a psychological or sociological point of view. People just see some dipshit kid with like a cell phone at 8 years old, and people get mad. In which case I respond with, so? You got better things to spend your time on than worry about some kid with a cell phone? Go fucking volunteer or something. You're the problem with this generation. Wasting your fucking time worrying about some dumbass kid. But seriously though, we live in a different time. Face it, it's not a bad idea for a kid to have a cell phone. It's not the end of the world that a kid owns an iPad to play Angry Birds. They live in a different generation. And if you're gonna say, well, these kids are entitled, back in the day, all I had was a video game system. Guess what? Different ages, different lives. When your video game system is the equivalent to their cell phone, it's a whole different generation. Guess what? There were people from the 60s who were looking at you when you got your first internet connection as some dipshit kid who got too much. And that's the way every generation is. We blame our problems on the next generation. We don't ever take it on ourselves. We don't blame ourselves. And it sucks. Because you know what? The 80s was full of cocaine. cocaine was everywhere. Crime was everywhere because so much cocaine. So much cocaine. But we'll ignore that because you know what? We'll see that 7-year-old with a cell phone, and obviously he's the reason our generation's coming to an end. Let's be better people, more optimistic people. And if you think this is the wrong generation, make it the right generation. Thanks for watching, guys.